Everybody, welcome again in Data in Action, which is my weekly episode I publish on YouTube, and they are only solid use cases that are showing how you can use artificial intelligence and data analytics in your business. The purpose of this series is to show you the real cases that worked for somebody so you can utilize in your business, in your nonprofit, and in your organization. My name is RX Kuza, and this is like Unlock Your Data Potential YouTube channel. So I hope you find it very interesting. If you like it, please subscribe. If there is a space for improvement, please share that with me in a comment. I would love to learn from you. Today I have such a beautiful thing that it's 100% and pure artificial intelligence and data analytics for good. It's called Wildtruck. So what is actually Wildtruck? Wildtruck is a super cool organization that is helping to protect animals and wildlife around the world. So let's have a quickly look at their mission. Those two beautiful people are behind this amazing adventure. So Wildtruck mission is to protect endangered species using a unique combination of data analytics, artificial intelligence, and traditional ecological knowledge. What these guys are doing. So you can read a little bit from Wildtruck. They track the wild in a very cool way because it's non-invasive way. So how they use it? They actually protect endangered species based on their footprints. So it's a non-invasive monitoring, meaning that they monitor those wildlife, those animals without disturbance in their natural behavior. No more clicks in the air, no more necklaces and things like that we currently put on animals to track them for like good reasons. So we want to know where they go, what they eat. We want to see if they will not be poisoned by like things that are using in agriculture or bad people are doing harm to animals. Currently, we need a lot of equipment to be put on animals' bodies. Now, this technology, Wildtruck, actually remove that, and they do it in a non-invasive way. And today I would like to show you how they use it. So if you are a garden with animals, if you have a zoo, if you have wildlife protection areas, this is an episode for you. And I hope to expose you to technologies, artificial intelligence, and data analytics of how they're doing it. I will be presenting a specific use case today, those Wildtruck people published. So let's jump into this and see what they've done in a beautiful part of the world in China to protect the specific species of cats like tigers and others. So I'll be very happy to introduce you to the use case, and obviously the links to all the materials will be published in this video description. So one of the projects that Wildtruck did is a protection of what it's called apex predators. What are apex predators? Apex predators are, according to Wikipedia, all these top predators that are sitting at the top of the food chain. So it's like lion or saltwater crocodile or great white shark or other like birds that are at the top. So those animals are on a target of Wildtruck to track them with a non-invasive way. And one of the specific animal they focus on in this case study I want to introduce you to today, it's Siberian tiger. And Wildtruck team focus on this area to track them and make sure that they can recognize their footprints. This is going to be a fantastic use case of how you can use machine vision, image recognition, and footprints recognition to make sure that you can recognize the specific animal, a specific individual animal. And this is what is this case about today. So what those scientists did, they actually had 44 captive individual in breeding facility, and they developed classification algorithm. So I want to stop a little bit here, because if you have a 44 objects, let's call those animals in captivity objects, and you can collect data out of them. That means that you build your own database, your own input. And classification algorithms mostly works very well on labeled data. And that's a beautiful example how you can implement narrow AI. We could use another analogy. If you want to recognize a species of birds, instead of going wide, you focus on a specific type of the bird, of a specific species to train your algorithm, because the more narrow the input database, the training set, the better the algorithm you can develop in that specific niche. And they went that alley, which means that they understood, and it's beautiful about these people because they understand animals and at the same time technology. It's beautiful that they understood it's better to train something on a small data set, which is a general great rule when it comes to implementing data analytics, monetization, and artificial intelligence in any business. After that, these people actually went to the wild. So as you can see here, they start collecting real footprints from between 2012 and 2016. They allocated multiple high quality footprints from free-ranging emerald tigers. Emerald tigers is a Siberian tiger, so that's what they were working on. So now we have a training set and we have the real set, and now we can actually start this classification algorithm working. So here's an example what they were actually doing. It's unclear outlines and discard ones, while images D and F were used for analysis. So you can see how that database looks like. So for instance, A, B, and C are lower quality images, and the D to F, those are actually that they can use. And it's beautiful how they show how they measure that. So that's training set, that data set, it's actually measured in the many different dimensions. We will see a little bit later how they actually gather the specific points. Imagine a face recognition technology. It's kind of similar. Every face has a specific elements on it and a specific dimensions. So in this case, the paws on these animals are looking the same way. It's a similar situation. You have a size of it, and then dimension and the length and the size between the specific elements on those animal paws footprints. So that's what they are looking in here in this case. And this case was actually fantastically developed, because after collecting this and classifying those animals a little bit, so building like sectors, or we could say cohorts, they actually start predicting. And you can see what is very important here. A classification happened, and the final classification model correctly predicted 44 tigers, giving 100 accuracy, which is actually still narrow AI. And that's how it looks like. You have a whole bunch of different training sets and data to collect from a specific footprint. So it's not only a dimensions like a length and a width, but also inside they identify characteristic points. It's like our face recognition technology. We have specific area between eyes, we have a length of the nose and other things. That's how they analyze that. That's very interesting case. So here is another thing. A total of 212 footprint images were collected from 12 trials and subjected to sex discrimination analysis. Based on classification, of that 121 images, 11 were not consistent. So they have an accuracy of 90%, which is super high. You can predict a lot with that. And prediction here, it's very accurate, which means you don't have to make so many iterations to get to the results, which make the cost of this prediction very reasonable. For males, 3 images of 61 were consistently. We need to also put a little bit of the accent on the database size. It's not a huge database. It's a kind of limited database, but that's what is great about it. In your companies, everywhere in your business, when you want to analyze something, obviously you want to play with big data, but starting with a smaller database can give you a lot of hints, a lot of patterns, a lot of insight, what kind of algorithms or which way you should develop before you jump on the big data size. So Here's an actually very interesting case study, and also what I would love to show you at the end is the results. So let's jump into the results and see what they actually discover here in this case. Beautiful thing they realize is, and it actually it's aligned to it's connected to COVID area. During the COVID area, the tourism activity fell down because everybody was either staying at home or our ability to travel was very limited. So here is the critical thing: they were able to discover how these animals are traveling across the northeast China, and then when they will be in the future. We can predict their moves, which if clashed with the traveling patterns of people, we can predict if there will be a meeting between those animals and people traveling in that region. Obviously, we are not talking about here being attacked by those animals, but to protect them, because obviously our presence in the nature limit the area of how these tigers are traveling. I'm not the expert in wildlife, but I understand from this paper that also another thing, that the population of tigers is very spread out. They live in a huge area and the huge parks and the mountains, and they cover the very large part of the continent, so that it's very challenging to track them because they don't travel in schools, they don't travel together, they more lonely predators. I guess they also get together for like mating and things like that. So that helps them to actually get more materials, more footprints for that from that region, and grow the database and predict even more. So I found it very fascinating use case, and I would love to encourage you, if you work with animals, if you are a zoo manager or wildlife preservation area executive, whatever you works with animals, to study it, because those people are doing a great job. I like it for reasons. First one is really AI for good. Second, it's non-invasive. And the third reason, it's really showing how narrow AI, small steps in working with database can bring you a higher results and give you a path for a big data project development. This article has a lot of links and the data sets availability, so you can check more. So this is also showing how they were predicting when the tigers will show up, how they can grow. They can predict like the number of individuals in the nature and the classification of them for self and non-self trails. So this is very fascinating how machine learning, in this case classification algorithms with the small data set, but with the images and machine vision, can be helpful for protecting our beautiful nature. If you like this, please subscribe. If you see a space for improvement, give me a comment. My goal here is to reach 400 subscribers on my channel, and I hope this kind of videos bring value to your life. Be careful, have a great day, and thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.